We're going to start doing stuff the right way. We have got to stop.
I personally, I don't believe that he's going to be a danger. He's got the support of his grandmother who's here in court with us today.
We are raising trifling men. We're doing so much for them that we're not raising men. We're raising little boys that some other woman is going to be burdened with taking care of. You and his mama are coddling him. And we are so busy coddling. I know he has a place now, but we're so busy coddling, especially young men. We seem to be wanting to raise women to be responsible. You got to go out and get a job. You got to do this. You got to do that. But parents continue to coddle these young men.
All right, guys. Today we've got a court hearing that's straight up wild. This judge completely loses it on a guy here for a whole list of alcohol problems, including a DUI. And wait for it, he brought his grandma to court. Like, how is grandma supposed to bail you out of this mess? The judge even calls him a baby, and the way she tears into him is both brutal and honestly kind of hilarious. Did you guys know a DUI can get you up to 6 months in jail depending on where you live? But man, this guy is just getting roasted in real time. Would you guys be able to keep a straight face in this courtroom? Let's dive in.
Your Honor, so what Mr. King wanted to share with the court was that he's been kind of proactive. So he says that he's completed some defensive driving courses, some anger management courses and things like that. But we understand that the court's main concern is the alcohol. So if there is perhaps any sort of monitoring that Mr. King can have while he's out of jail, or perhaps testing, he would be agreeable to something like that. But we just don't feel like him being in jail. I personally, I don't believe that he's going to be a danger. He's got the support of his grandmother who's here in court with us today. And like I said, he's gainfully employed, and he does have a child, and he does have a lot to lose, and he understands that, especially having been in here.
Ms. Hahn, it's not necessarily that I think he's going to be a danger per se. The concern that I have is that he's gotten 2 subsequent charges, one of which definitely involves alcohol, since he got a DUI. And so all of these things coming into play, you can present all of this to me as the reason why I shouldn't put you in the jail, but none of that kept you from getting 2 subsequent charges after a DUI. I don't understand what's going on. Like, now I'm supposed to feel bad. Oh, he's got a 2-year-old. Well, that was your choice. Nobody told you go out there and you got pending charges and your life is probably not stable and you out here having babies. I'm not a proponent of just willy-nilly having children and then using them to try and play on the court's heartstrings, because I feel like children deserve the absolute best that we can give them. And when we just out here having them and then trying to figure it out on the back end, I'm not a proponent of that. And I see your grandmama sitting back there with her hands over her face, praying for you and everything. And I think that's a good thing. But I think that you need to take some personal responsibility. You're 25, you've chosen to have a child and become a parent. But you also have committed, allegedly, you have 3 different pending cases, not charges. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pending charges before the court, and over the course of 2 years. And so
the way the judge counted up his charges is just crazy. Like, how do you even get 6 charges in the last 2 years and not expect some serious jail time? We're talking DUI charges, domestic charges. This guy is just a joke. It's like he's out here playing how many laws can I break before they actually do something. I mean, DUIs alone are no joke. I mean, driving drunk is just straight up illegal everywhere, and it's not just about breaking the law, it's literally just dangerous for everybody. Then you throw in this domestic stuff, yeah, I just don't think he's learning his lesson out here. The judge is about to sentence him here. What do you guys think about this so far? Do you think he needs some jail time, or should the judge just give him some probation? Let's dive back in.
I don't understand why I should now let you out again and risk you getting another charge. Because if you stay in jail, you'll come up next on the trial calendar. We can go ahead and try these cases and get them done. We can try them back to back to back.
So, well, 1 second, Your Honor. Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
if I could just say one last thing on behalf of Mr. King. Your Honor, obviously, we still would like for him to be released, but you know, I know that Your Honor is concerned about alcohol. Mr. King hasn't had any infractions involving alcohol or any issues with alcohol, at least since April of 2022. So it's going on almost 2 years.
August of 2022.
Well, I think the last case involving alcohol, Your Honor, was the one ending in 0297, is my understanding.
You go tell me he was stone cold sober when he went over there to the same person from the April incident? All right, I'm gonna let you have that one.
Thank you, Your Honor. But so, Your Honor, Mr. King and his grandmother was also kind of chiming in as well. Let me know that there aren't any concerns, at least we don't believe that there are any concerns that the court should have about alcohol. He's kind of been on the straight and narrow for over the last year, and so we would like the opportunity for him to get out of jail and kind of fight these charges from the outside, because he does maintain with me that he's not guilty on all of the cases. And that's kind of what I was trying to explain to him as to why we won't go into the details of that here today as to what happened in each of those cases. But without doing that, he does want the court to release him.
All right. If I release him, he's gonna test every 2 weeks for substances. If he misses a test, he comes back to jail. If he tests positive, he comes back to jail.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, draw up the order.
Thank you.
He'll go to he'll make an appointment with the probation office and he'll test every 2 weeks. He misses if he misses a test, he's coming back to jail. If he tests positive, he's coming back to jail for any substance, alcohol or anything else. We're gonna start doing stuff the right way.
I mean, considering this guy's been sitting in jail for a while now, I think it's fair that he gets out. What do you guys think, though? But hold on. This judge is about to go absolutely off on this grandma for coddling this guy like he's still 5 years old. This grandma's out here defending him, doing everything for him, like this dude is a baby still. At some point, though, somebody's just gotta tell her, like, enough is enough. She's over here babying him while he's out here breaking laws left and right. She seriously needs a wake-up call. Let's dive back in.
No, Grandma, no. Come on up, ma'am. See, your grandson is in this situation because somebody's always taking up for him and he's not getting responsibility for the things he's doing.
I understand that, Your Honor, and thank you for allowing me to speak. But what we did, his mother and I, when they were having their spats, we only go pick up the baby now, or me or his mother.
And you shouldn't have to do that because they should be grown enough. If they're grown enough to have a baby, they should be grown enough to co-parent. But anytime the grandmama and the mama have to get involved in transporting the baby because they can't get along, that tells me that they're immature and shouldn't have had the baby in the first place. So he needs to grow up. And no, I'm not going to facilitate that. No, ma'am.
Well, actually, it was his idea.
I don't care.
Not to have the interaction.
I don't care. He had a baby with that woman. If he can't now co-parent with her, that tells me something about the fact that they shouldn't have even had a baby together. So no, y'all can't have any contact with her until such time as that baby is legitimized through the courts.
And what court do you do that?
Superior Court. And that's not your job, ma'am. That's his job.
I just like to have the information.
I get that.
This grandma just wants the information from the other court just because. Yeah, right. I doubt it. You know she's about to call them up and try to set a date for her little grandson. Like, seriously, though, she really needs to chill out and let the court do its thing. Like, is this normal? Because I don't know. Is she being overly protective or does she need to relax a little?
But we are raising trifling men. We're doing so much for them that we're not raising men. We're raising little boys that some other woman is going to be burdened with taking care of. Even when if he gets back with Kay and Frazier, she going to have to do everything for him because you and his mama are coddling him. There was a time in this country where once you left your parents' house, you were responsible and you had to make your way and be responsible. Every successful person I know, including myself, you get from your parents instructions when you finish high school, hey, you I don't know what you're gonna do. College, military, work, but you can't live here. And we are so busy coddling. I know he has a place now, but we're so busy coddling, especially young men. We seem to be wanting to raise women to be responsible. You got to go out and get a job. You got to do this. You got to do that. But parents continue to coddle these young men.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. The judge has that completely backwards. Like, I see men out here getting pushed hard to get jobs, be responsible, and figure it all out on their own, while young women are getting coddled and having mommy and daddy do everything for them. It's almost like there's this double standard no one wants to talk about. I don't really know, though. That's just my opinion based on what I've seen. Am I wrong here? Let me know what you guys think, but so far, the judge is completely right here. Let's dive back in.
And so they end up not being responsible for themselves or anybody else. He's a parent now, so he's grown. So anything that happens on his behalf or his child's behalf, he has to handle it. Y'all need to stop stepping in.
I respect what you just said, but in the case,
No buts.
he stepped in and is taking care of her daughter that is 4.
So
And my family and everybody that knows him respects him as a good father. So I cannot let it be said that he's not a good parent.
I didn't say he wasn't a good parent. I said they weren't mature enough to co-parent.
I recognize that, but I do want it to be on record that he is.
No, I didn't say he wasn't a good parent, and there is a path to him being able to parent his child. I told you what it is. But what I'm saying to you is you and his mama can't live his life for him. And as long as y'all are doing for him, then he won't be able to do for himself.
Thank you for that, Your Honor.
I'm just saying, you recognize what I'm saying. When you left your parents' house, how old were you?
18.
And did they say you never went back, did you?
Never went back.
Okay, this man is 25, and I'm gonna tell you what my grandmother said. My grandmother raised 13 children, and you know what she said? She said, I have never had to stand bond for any of them. But you know what she also said? If you do something, don't call me. She's right. I raised you to be responsible. I raised you to do the things that you should know how to do. And so of her 13 children, none of them had to stand in a courtroom or come get them or call my grandfather to come get them because I've raised you. So now you're on your own to be responsible the way I taught you to be. And we have gotten so far away from that. We got kids now telling their parents off, taking their parents' vehicles, hitting and interacting with their parents in such negative ways. But at a minimum, we're not raising children to be responsible. At 18, your parents said, that's it. And you went out and you made your way. And you look reasonably successful. Now, I don't know you, but you don't look like you're struggling. And what I'm telling you is until you let somebody get out there and do what they need to do, and you looking at me in this role, but I'm gonna tell you right now, when I went to college, my parents was like, okay, you made it into college. All those student loans, I had to pay. When I went to law school, I had to pay. I was working 2 jobs in college and going to school, 2 jobs and going to school. There have been other times in my life when I worked 2 jobs and gone to school. So what I'm saying to you is he can do if y'all step out of the way and make him do it. But don't keep coddling him and we gonna facilitate seeing the baby and we gonna make sure because y'all can't co-parent because y'all fighting each other that we gonna make it easy to go back and forth. Go to court. He can go to court, set up a visitation schedule and get a superior court judge to determine how this is gonna happen. But in all things, he's going to be a parent for the rest of his life. So if he can't get it right now at the beginning, when it's easy, it's not going to get any easier. It's not.
And with all due respect, Your Honor, I don't condone. I didn't help you get into a mess. I can't help you get out, but I do support helping you through it. That's the way I look at it with my kids and my grandkids.
I have a feeling this grandma is about to keep coddling this dude. I could just tell. Like, come on, if she really wanted to change things, she would have stopped babying this man after his first or second charge. But nope, here she is, still acting like he's some helpless little kid who just needs a hug and a warm cookie. Ma'am, The law doesn't work like that. At some point, even the nicest grandma has to realize she's just enabling this guy.
I got you. But what I'm saying to you is remember how you made it. And people think it's harsh. But when your parents said, you 18 now, you on your own, you might have struggled. But right now, if you face with any situation in your life, you're going to figure out how to get it, how to make it work.
Yeah.
Because you've had that experience. We don't let our kids struggle. So when they get out there, the first thing they're going to do is turn back to mama. What am I going to do now? Well, if you struggled when you first got out there and made your way and realized you got to work, you got to pay bills, you got to find a place to stay, you got to maintain a place to stay. When you do those things, it makes you responsible and able to handle whatever challenge comes your way. But as long as the parents are stepping in and keeping these 20-something, I even give a little grace for the 20s, but the 30s, the 40s, I got parents who carrying these people on their back and they're coming in and raising discord in their households. We have got to stop coddling these young men. He went out there, he had a baby. So if he's chosen to give up his 20s and his carefree lifestyle to be a parent, then he's got to do what it takes to do it right. And if that means going to court and legitimizing this child, getting the money up to do what he needs to do, then he needs to do that. But nobody's telling him to go out here and just have babies without thinking about the consequences of what that means.
Do you guys agree with this grandma's rant? Honestly, I kind of do for the most part, especially in today's world. A lot of kids are being babied and taken care of way past 18. And let's be real, that's just on the parents. But one thing I can't get behind is her saying we're only babying the men, because that's just not true. If anything, it feels like everyone's getting babied these days, no matter the gender. It's like we're living in a time where adulting is optional for way too many people. I mean, think about it. Back in the day, turning 18 meant you were packing your bag and figuring out life. Now, kids are staying at home until they're 30, with their parents still making their dentist appointments and paying for their phone bills. And sure, the economy is tough, but come on, at some point, you've just got to take responsibility for yourself. We're not doing anybody any favors by letting them coast through life without consequences. What do you guys think, though? I don't know if that's a hot take or not. Are we raising a generation that's too soft, or is that just how life is now? Anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Let me know what you guys thought about this court hearing, though. Do you agree with the grandma, or do you think she's got it all wrong? Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. And let me know what you guys thought below. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.